Hey guys, Distler Magic here, getting ready for the pre-release, super amped about that, but I had to make an unrelated to the pre-release video because there's just so much misinformation out there on, well, Reddit, but that's a given, any kind of forum, any Facebook page, YouTube, you name it. People are spreading misinformation about these new cards, the Expedition sequels. They're called Masterpiece cards. They're going to be at around the same rarity as Expeditions. They're going to be in every set from now on. And the particular version in Kaldesh for this and Aether Revolt are going to be called Inventions. But as a whole, they'll be referred to as Masterpiece cards. So I've noticed different people and different types of players react to these differently because, well, it's pretty polarized. People are either like, yeah, I love it, it's cool, that's awesome, or, oh my gosh, this is terrible, I hate it, this is a disaster. So for the casual person, they show up to FNM, maybe they draft, they buy some packs, they might buy a box. They're, as a whole, pretty happy about it because now they just might pull one. That's cool. From the average local player, the only bad feedback I've heard is, oh, I really want one. Oh, I want 4 of these, but I'll never be able to afford them. It sucks that they exist and I can't have them. Yeah, get over it. I want a Alpha Black Lotus. Take a guess if I'm ever gonna get one. Even outside of Magic, there's plenty of things I want, but guess what? I don't have the money, so I don't get them. You don't get everything you want. Grow up. Still, I don't think those people are all that serious. I think they're just saying, oh, I really wish I had that. It's one of my favorite cards. Oh, it would be so great. Oh, I wish. But they're not that serious about it. But they're kind of still a little bit irked that it does exist, but they probably won't have a playset to play with. So, whatever. Some people are kind of against it, kind of for it, or indifferent, whatever. That would probably describe 75% of people who buy the actual products. So as a whole, people pretty much just don't care, or they're just slightly like, oh, that's cool. I hope I pull one. That'll be kind of neat, whatever. It's the big sellers that are the ones that have a huge misinterpretation going on. Now, I'd like to say that almost everybody I've heard from has been in business longer than me, so they should know better, but evidently they don't. They know card sales history, but I know math, and they only have one point of reference to compare this to, and that's why these people are getting this so wrong. So the only other time that they did something at a, 1 every 4 boxes give or take rarity was Expeditions. Oh, that isn't true. They're actually, it's a long story. But recently, the only time they've done that was Expeditions. So these new Masterpiece cards are basically Expeditions 2.0. So what happened the last time that they did it, which would have been Battle for Zendikar? Well, people opened way the hell too many, and I mean way too many, way too much product. The price of everything tanked, and I mean everything. You got your typical handful, just a couple cards that went up and the rest just went straight down the toilet. I've never seen prices drop that quickly for any set in my entire life, and I've sold probably the last, 7, 8, 9, 10 sets, something like that. And in case you didn't know it, all I care about are singles, because that's all I sell are singles. I sell about maybe 10% of what we get in for, sealed locally, and the rest we open and sell. I had to drop those cards every 4 hours by 5 or 10% in some cases. It was pathetic. Now, here's the problem. People knew that, I'm going to murder these numbers, but for every $10,000 they opened worth of BFZ, they would open $2,000 worth of Expeditions or something like that. It was an additional, 10, 15, 20% on top of what they would pull. I think it was actually lower. I think it was 10% on a good day or something like that. Depends if you go with the real prices on eBay or the, retail prices on the Expeditions. I opened 23 of them. I think they were worth, 30-something on average because there were some crappy ones and there were some good ones, although the average was pretty high because some of them were $250, $300, and I pulled a ton of those. So I think my exact results were above 10%. So whenever you say, hey, we're going to give you an extra 10% profit, guess what? You're going to buy more, you're going to open more. That's just what happened. If you tell me I'm going to make more money on something, I'm going to open more. I mean, come on. I am so sick of losing money on certain sets, Origins. I lost money on that set. It was a bad set initially, even though I loved the set, I loved the cards, the design was perfect, and a lot of the cards shot up over time because it was an amazing set. It didn't sell very well. The singles just weren't worth that much because the synergy wasn't there, and it was basically just a setup for the next couple sets after it. All the landfall cards, they relied on Origins. I mean, that's just how it worked. So everybody opened too much, which means that if something would have been a $4 rare, it's a $1 rare because you have trouble moving it. You have no trouble moving like the $30 mythics and the $15 rares. They're that price because people want them. But when you've over opened all the cards that are kind of in some fringy decks, maybe somebody wants to build a rogue deck with it, you know, maybe it's in like the 8th place deck from the tournament, but nobody's that interested in beating it because it's gimmicky. Those are like the rares that hit like $2, $3, $4, and this time around they were all like $1, $1.50, $2. So if the prices crash, why do people keep buying? Well, one, it wasn't even the single sellers, it was the regular sellers because they really like the thrill of pulling a $300 card out of something other than Modern Masters. I mean, that's not normal that you can play Standard and go to a draft, buy 3 packs, and oh my gosh, a $300 card, a $250 Eye of Ugin, a $200, I don't remember which one was $200. A $300 Wasteland. I mean, that was exciting. So yeah, people were like, if they were on the fence, I don't know if I want to buy some more, I kind of want to build a deck, maybe I'll buy singles, I'll just open it, see if I can hit the jackpot. So yeah, I think local sales hit an extra 10-20% minimum because of that, and so the stores themselves kept ordering more and more and more. It was not the singles people, because the singles people in the first week lost their butts and then gave up. And if you're about to say, oh, but the singles people got into the whole gambling thing too, we're going to get excited because we might hit the jackpot. There is no gambling at our level. I opened 19 cases. I was supposed to mathematically open 24 expeditions and I opened 23. Was I going to open 5? No. Was I going to open 50? No. That's just how probability works at that scale. You're going to get, you know, like this time around, the masterpieces, I'm going to open approximately 11, plus or minus 2 or 3. That just is what it is. Am I going to open 0? Hell no. Am I going to open 50? Not without a printing mistake, I'm not. It's predictable at that scale. Now, if I open 1 box, I could get 0, I could get 2. We actually pulled 3 expeditions out of 1 box from BFZ. And by we, I mean one of my friends I sold a box to. That was nice. He's a dick, too. So that was already factored into our spreadsheets. That was part of the return on the box, and it wasn't like, oh, we might hit a big bonus. Yay. Oh, look, another big bonus. It was like, no, there's that card I expected and planned for. So when you have these ultra expensive collectors only cards, what are people going to do? Well, just later they're going to do the same thing they did last time because, yay, predictability. Yeah, we have a frame of reference of 1 set. Oh, by the way, I am noticeably lumping together BFZ and OGW because they were right after each other and in the same block. So yeah, there was 2 examples, but it was like the same thing twice in a row. Nobody had time to adapt or any of that. The 2 sets were practically identical, and honestly, the OGW expeditions were like a little bit worse. So with 1 single series and 1 block of expeditions, I mean, what's going to happen? Well, the same thing over and over and over. They just killed everything. They killed the singles market, and all the mythics and rares are going to be worth 50 cents, and they just destroyed the whole game because people are going to over-open to get to these, right? That's the logical fallacy that people are falling into right now, and it just pisses me off because this is not going to happen. They're all wrong. Why did people open so many damn packs to the point where singles went down the toilet because of it in Oath of the Gatewatch and Battle for Zendikar? 1, it was the first time they ever did anything like that. I mean, they did seed packs with like Power 9 one time back in the day or something. You know, they've done stuff kind of like it, but I mean, this is the first time that they did something exactly like Masterpiece cards. So the first time, nobody knows how the hell to handle it. They don't know what the card's going to be worth, what's going to happen to the value. They don't know what's going to happen to anything. They all made the wrong estimations. Everybody over-ordered. Singles sellers lost their butts on it. It was a disaster because nobody knew how to handle it. They didn't know how to adjust. They all just assumed, oh, 180 per box EV or whatever it was. I think it was 178 the day before release. And it stayed there for about 5 seconds and then started falling. Also, way over people wanting to pull expeditions and single sellers, local people, stores, everybody. Way past that was the full art lands. Hey, remember those $85 Battle for Zendikar fat packs because people wanted full art lands, they wanted to hoard them? That was a mix. One group just wanted them to play with them. They wanted to hoard up, on them. They bought more booster packs than they normally would. They bought more fat packs than they normally would because they wanted to have, a couple hundred to build into their next couple decks so that they look cool, in the next 3 years. Then you got the investors and the MTG finance people who are, as a whole, constantly wrong and so utterly clueless. A lot of them had the ridiculous, utterly ridiculous, mathematically unsound notion that they could sit on those full art lands and sell them for $1 to $2 a piece 5 years from now because, well, that's what happened in the past. Yeah, guess what? BFZ was printed a little bit more than the original Zendikar full arts. Just a little bit. You know, like probably 10 to 100 times more total volume. If those full art cards ever hit $2 retail, ever, like ever, I don't care about 50 years in the future, ever, I will go get some ranch dressing. I will take a whole bunch of the forests, I will mix them up, pour ranch dressing on them, and eat them like a salad. I don't think they're going to see 50 cents in 5 years. Oh, and then what did they do for Oath of the Gatewatch? They kept the full arts going, which was cool, except that they were literally the same exact ones with the same set symbol and same artwork. So Wizards was basically going to these investors and they were like, oh, you want to invest in these? Boom, kick them in the nuts just based on pure volume. And then, after they got kicked in the nuts, they were like, are you okay? Sorry, I really didn't mean to do that. I mean, you were kind of dumb standing right where I was putting my foot. Oh, and by the way, boom, kicked them right back in the nuts again with Oath of the Gatewatch by printing another 100 million full art lands for the world to sit on. The exact same product. Didn't even switch up the artwork. Didn't switch up the set symbol. Nothing. So that tanked. That was like, oh, everybody's investing in them. They're over opening. They're getting their hands on every booster box possible because there's bare minimum in every what is it? $3 and oh wait, no, what do I pay? I think it's like $2.67 booster or something like that. Cost. Whatever the hell it cost me. There's a $2 full art land in it. Oh my gosh, that's a 67-cent booster. Yeah, those people were idiots. Complete and utter idiots. And then kick them while they're down, release the same cards again at Oath of the Gatewatch. Yeah, that was funny, actually. Nobody was that stupid, and I sold them for 20 cents a piece in the first week. Yes, I still have about 3,000, but they're for my personal collection and deck building, and if they happen to do spike at some point, you know I'm going to sell them off. Oh, and then we had the waste cards in Oath of the Gatewatch. So there was all these different reasons other than expeditions that people over-opened BFZ and Oath of the Gatewatch. You can't just say, oh, BFZ plus expedition equals disaster. It's not that simple. You open Oath of the Gatewatch and at the back of every single booster is a card with a big old BFZ stamp on it because we're just too damn lazy to hire somebody to draw a couple more full art pictures apparently. So not only did the market get flooded and stupid people bought up all the full art lands and opened way the hell too much product to hoard the lands, but then they print them again back to back in Oath of the Gatewatch. Holy crap, was that hilarious because I sure as hell didn't fall for it. I sold off about, I would say, 2,500 full art lands within the first 2 weeks. And good thing I did because right now, or well, okay, at the very tail end, right before the next set came out, I think it was around, oh boy, I think 19 cents a piece was the eBay price. At this exact time, they've only hit about 24 cents, give or take. So they basically haven't even really moved. The listings all tanked. I mean, people wanted 50 cents a piece for them, and that lasted about 10 seconds until people started undercutting them, and I think at one point they hit like 11 cents a piece or something, but I got mine out at the opportune time. I am still sitting on about 2,000 to 3,000 of them just for personal use and deck building, and maybe they might spike up at some point and I can unload them, you know, whatever, but I'm not like counting on it. So I think that had a bigger effect. The full art lands had a bigger effect than expeditions. So when people say, oh, BFZ, people over opened it. And Wizards, they just pocketed the money and boy, did they trick everybody. Ha ha ha. They sold the set until it was worthless. Well, because people were stupid and thought they were, you know, making bank on the whole full art land thing. Oh, plus the whole rush of, oh, now you can open $300 cards in standard. That still had a slight psychological effect. So that's gone. The full art lands are gone. What's left? Masterpieces. That's it, by themselves. Now, I mentioned this in a past video, probably also in this video. We opened, 19 cases, and I pulled exactly 23 expeditions out of Oath of the Gatewatch. Guess how many mathematically, according to the odds, I should have pulled? 24, I think it was. Or 23 with rounding. So those were already on my spreadsheet as far as profitability per box. It was not, oh, a nice bonus, I'm going to make more money. It's like, no, that's part of the box EV. It's all calculated in. So what are people doing this time around? They're going, gathering up the pre-release prices, getting their best estimates on the prices, and putting that on their spreadsheet. It's probably adding 5 cents to the effective value of every given boosters, which is not enough to move anything or overbuy or oversell anything. So everybody knows they're going to keep putting masterpieces in every set forever. Everybody knows that there's no full art lands to sit on. And everybody's used to the concept of like an expedition rarity. They know how many they themselves personally pulled, and it's a lot less exciting, and it's not a new concept. Masterpieces will have no effect whatsoever on the value of Kaldesh. None. Well, other than literally their actual value. Like if I were to open 100 cases, however much I'm expected to get, okay, that they'll have an effect on. Anything past that, I'm going to over open? No, not this time around. Nope. So everybody running around like Chicken Little telling you that the sky is falling and Masterpieces ruined everything and Wizards is evil and they're out to get you. Maybe you need to see it the way that Wizards sees it, and I also share this opinion. Shocking, I know. So we're Wizards and we want to make more money. We're trying to recruit more people, and basically all we did was insult men and like piss off a bunch of non-SJW people. That went well. Expanding the game is crap, and we still think it's a bunch of like pervy white guys who creep on women. That's still our customer base, and everything we've tried blew up in our face. So how are we going to make more money if we can't expand the game? We got to make the boxes worth more. I know, let's do a super mythic. We'll cut the rarity in half again, but print the cards that everybody needs for their deck at that rarity. That wouldn't piss anybody off, would it? So now, in order to, have the players in the world have 100,000 copies of this card, they have to open twice as much. Wow, brilliant idea. Except it wouldn't work, because every rare would be worth 25 cents on launch day. And, that's right, they wouldn't have any customers left. If now I had to pay $70 per card to build, a play set, so what would it be? We'll say $75. $300 for a play set to just build one standard deck because now they're at ultra rare? Are you kidding me? Screw you. I'd just move to modern. I mean, nobody would play standard anymore. Nobody would even respect Magic anymore, not like they do at the moment. So they can't do that. Scratch that one off, cross that one off, not going to happen. They could just outright raise the price of the boxes, raise the MSRP, raise all the products up 10%. Once again, they would not have any customers left. They could put little miniatures, collectibles, and other little side stuff that's like added value items to all their little side products, like fat packs, or every booster box you get a little figurine of Jace or something, or that is more of a fat pack thing. Like copy Pokemon. Dude, some of those miniatures and stuff and the collectibles from Pokemon packs, they look freaking amazing. People will buy them just for those. You know what the cost of production of those in China is? Not a whole damn lot. So that would have been the correct way to go. I definitely anticipate that happening in the future. Hey, I have an idea. Let's go on the same kind of thing and add value to the box. Because honestly, single sellers will be happy with that. Local gaming stores will be happy with that because the customers will be happy with that. Because every booster pack you open for the same, $3.99 MSRP or whatever, every one you open is worth more. You get more value out of it immediately. How do we do that without putting in more expensive cards that people need, like increasing the demand because they need it? Well, the next best thing is put in stuff that people want. They don't need it, but they want it. There would be an interest, there would be a small amount of demand for it. Ta-da! Premium foil alternate art, extra beautiful, super awesome, amazing looking masterpiece cards. It's as simple as that. Nobody needs them to play. Nobody can legitimately complain about them, saying, oh man, I need 4 of these. It's so unfair. They're worth $100. I quit Magic. No, they're 100% reprints. Just go get the cheap edition of it. In fact, why the hell would you want to play with $100 cards? But some people got, $1 million and they still play Magic. And, some people just really have really built up expensive collections and trade binders, and they want them for collection purposes because they're amazing looking and they love the cards and they remember 10 years ago when they played with them. Collectors, nostalgia reasons, all of it. It's perfect because you're creating a demand without creating a true need. It is freaking brilliant because if you don't want anything to do with the expeditions and they're so rare you can't count on pulling them, and you're not like, oh, I need to get a full set of every single one, that's unrealistic. As long as you're like, oh, okay, that's cool, whatever, then it doesn't affect you. You can keep playing the game the way you always played it. They didn't even really technically change anything if you're not interested in the whole masterpiece scene. And if you are, you better have money. Welcome to every hobby ever. I can think of no better, more effective way than to kind of pander to the rich people, pander to the longtime collectors who have money and are willing to drop the money on products, and just stick a little bit of that into Standard, their main money-making product. It's like taking from the rich and giving to the poor everyday player. It's brilliant. This helps out every single seller at any local gaming store that sells sealed product, because now people are like, oh, what's the EV of the box? Oh, it's high this time. It's an extra $5 or $10 because of the ultra rares. And then single sellers, they're open up one pallet of cases, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to make an extra $5 or $10 on every single box because we open some masterpieces. It helps out everybody, and then if, like I said, if somebody's not interested in masterpieces, they don't have to participate in any way, just ignore them. All it does is help you out by making your card collection worth more money, and making it so that every time you open a booster or open any product from Wizards, it's worth more money. I mean, how the hell can people complain about this? What is people's problem? They're so stupid, they keep looking back to Battle for Zendikar and saying, look what happened, the same thing's gonna happen again, and they just ignore the fact that full art lands were a thing. And they ignored the fact that everybody was turbo excited, and it was the opportunistic response in the human brain. Like, this is the only time they're gonna do this. I need to snap up these expedition lands because nothing like this is ever gonna happen again. That's gone. Full art lands are gone. The whole price crash is gone. Kaldesh is going to be a normal set, just worth a tiny bit more. So everybody's saying, oh, I'm not going to order any. I'm cutting my order back because this is going to be a disaster. The box EV is going to be $60 because a bunch of morons are going to over-open and, oh, no, it's the end of the world. Those people are just clueless. They just don't understand how the game works. They don't understand how Battle for Zendikar worked. And obviously Oath of the Gatewatch. I am 98% in support of their decision to do this. It's the most brilliant way to up the value of a box and help all of us sellers out and make all the players happy without doing anything to piss them off. Well, I mean, some people are pissed, so without doing anything to legitimately harm the players. They certainly haven't harmed the game. All they did was add another collectible to it, an ultra rare collectible to look pretty and make people happy. Oh no, how dare they? Oh, what's the 2% I'm not in support of it? Pretty much kids and gambling. It's like CSGO Lotto all over again. It's like, oh yeah, it's not really worth money, even though it is worth money. It's not a recognized asset. It's not registered. It's not officially worth money. According to the US government, a card's worth the paper it's made out of. Same with the original Bitcoin casinos. Yep, same with, like, gold mining for money on the black market in MMOs. You don't have to be 18 to do any of that crap because, well, doesn't really have a value, even though it does really have a value. So having, like, irresponsible, immature 13-year-olds come play Magic and then they get all excited because they open a $300 wasteland and then become problem gamblers in the future. Okay, that's a legitimate complaint about these. But Wizards is practically the last trading card game to implement a rare of this level. So they're pretty much just copying everybody else who started it first. And every pay-to-win free game on Android and every MMO ever with microtransactions. Yeah, not exactly the first people to come up with this devious new idea. So seriously, people, if you have a legitimate complaint that I somehow missed, doubt that, feel free to leave that down in the comment section, or just your angry ranting about how I'm wrong and then no actual logic is just a baseless claim. You're just generally stating that. Feel free to leave that down in the comment section. You know, just leave the math and logic out. Just say I'm wrong. You know, don't back it up with anything. And I will see you guys next video.